Please join me in welcoming a serious superstar and a very, very, very big superwoman, somebody I aspire to probably be like as time goes by. She has managed to do marathons, and triathlons. She's a mom of two grown-up sons, and she's also a grandmom. And her kids, while growing up, they were also in sports. She's been doing aerobics as an instructor. She's got her own Pilates studio. She still does classes there as well. And she, at the moment, is also achieving newer, bigger, and brighter goals. She never stops striving to do more. She's managed to do cycling for she's been cycling and she's been doing the same race consistently. It's a relay race and it also entails carrying your bike and going over little hills and paths that you can't ride. Also entails crossing streams and lots of off-roading basically. So she's been doing that consistently for many years. Then she decided, let's up my game, and she took up running because that was not exciting enough. And she took up running in 2014. In 2015, she did the Mumbai Half Marathon in 1 hour 59 minutes. She won a gold there. So within a year of starting running, she won a gold. And this very same year, she also did the Delhi Marathon and she did the half there in 1:57. So not only did she win the gold and do it in under 2 hours, she also managed to bring her time down with the very next race that she did. So she really does not there are no limits for this lady. Then to keep going, in 2019, she's done a triathlon, which was her first of many. And in that, it was a 10K run, 1,500 meters swimming, open sea, and 40K of cycling. She managed to do that in 3.5 hours, which is also amazing. So open water swimming is not something that, unless you've been swimming for a long time, it's not easy to do. But Smita, I will now introduce Smita Patil, who managed to do all of these amazing things at the very moment. But although she looks like she's close to 40, we could say even 35, I'm sure. And seeing her long list of events, I would say she's got the spirit and the energy and strength of a 30-year-old for sure. So let me pass you on to Smita. Smita will talk a little bit about her journey and talk about how she's been an inspiration to women. She doesn't usually talk a lot about herself. She's more about other people. But today, I'm putting her under the spotlight and she has to talk about herself.
Okay. So thanks, Asha, for having me. And to talk about my journey, nothing very extraordinary than a regular journey of a recreational athlete, probably. So school was like any other normal school. I was from a convent, and basically I like to play more than study. So probably I used to be taking part in every sport event in the school and thereby became the sports captain of the school. Then once I got out of school, then college and marriage happened quite quick, was quite early in life. So then all that took a back seat with a different responsibility. Kids came in early. So, as that year, I completely forgot about taking part in sport because it was another activity that sort of took my attention, bringing up the kids. But as the kids grew up, I felt that I joined a local exercise class because mainly fitness was always the prime importance. Fitness means health at that time.
Right.
I joined a local aerobic class at that time. It was in the 1980s. Jane Fonda and aerobics was so
Yeah.
popular, the step aerobics, and also I was totally enamored. And within a month, the center asked me, would you take classes for us? We need instructors and you seem to be quite good at it. I mean, you're matching your beat sense, your rhythm sense, and all is very good. I said, okay, as far as, don't hold me officially because I have two small kids. I mean, I may,
Right.
at a drop of a note, I may just on the I would just cancel a class. So I don't want you to put the responsibility entirely on me. Let me grow into
Right.
this new responsibility of being an instructor. So anyway, I managed it pretty well. But when I was taking the classes, I used to have a lot of people coming and asking me questions, fitness related questions. Ma'am, when I was doing the class, I got a slight knee pain when I did this step and this, and I felt my heart rate was going. I needed to have answers. I had no right to be where I am, standing there taking a class and not able to understand uh, when someone asks me questions. Or anything can happen, during
Yeah.
exercise class. So I started taking lessons in fitness. So I started educating myself. Being a science student, it was very easy to understand. So, and being in Bombay, the availability of various certifications was pretty easy.
Okay.
So I did a sports medicine certification. I did the Reebok group instructorship. Then um, I did the Pilates certification at the same time. And there were different trends coming in for which I did a lot of certifications, and I grew in that field to start my own studio. So it
Yeah.
was a popular studio back in Bombay. And then we had to move to Pune because of my husband's work. So once I moved to Pune, I felt I need to transit from the aerobic form into a much safer mode, because as I was growing older, I felt that you need to blend. I mean, you
Right.
can't keep on teaching aerobics all the time. You need to have a blend to bring about a complete health package.
Right.
And so I concentrated more on Pilates. So the moment I started working in the fitness industry in Pune, I got exposed to I got exposed to a lot of friends who were into so much of adventure activities and different sports. So that's how enduro happened. It's an adventure race, as you mentioned. It's not a relay, but it is a team event which involves you to do all the three things. So it's kind of an adventurous triathlon, not on a scale of a triathlon, because we don't swim for 1500 meters in an enduro,
Right.
and just a shorter distance, and anyone can do it. But we trek, cycle, walk, run along with our gear. I mean, it's a self-supported race, so it's hard. So, but we, as friends, were doing it every year, and we felt that we needed to do something beyond now that. So then that's how the
Yeah.
cycling events took place. And then, because again the same group, then we started, running came to Pune and became very popular. So we started running. And once you get into one sport after the other, you take part in events which sort of grows your support group,
Yeah.
your friend circle, and then that's how you keep on exploring new things and things like that. But what happened was with me was when I was into running, uh, I realized it was becoming an addiction. And the addiction, not just running, the addiction to compete started creeping in.
Okay.
And when that started creeping in, I noticed I started falling prey to injuries.
Right.
Um, and when I started all these things, Sasha, not once did I ever think, or it never came to my mind that I'm starting late. I need to watch what my body is speaking. I felt,
Right.
because I was doing it, and nobody, mind you, nobody who I ever participated with or within my friend circle ever said, would you be able to manage? Because they were all half my age. I mean,
But
they never,
you have the energy levels of a 30-year-old, so it doesn't even matter.
so they never questioned it. I mean, I was always, would you be my partner? It's a team event. Would you do it with me? I mean, and not once did I ever feel, why are they asking me? I mean, they are younger. I'm sure they're younger people. But
Yeah.
so I don't think so that ever crept in, the age factor over at that time. And I kept doing whatever did. But in the in the running period, I I got a very severe injury, which most of the runners know about it. It's called osteitis pubis, and it's an injury which it takes a long time to recover.
Right.
It takes a very long time to recover. But I still never felt that I should end what I'm doing. But that time gave me uh, a lot of thought. I put in a lot of thought to it, because see, what is the progression from a half marathon? You will obviously move towards doing a full marathon. I mean, that's, you want to be called a
Correct.
marathoner, not a half
Yeah.
marathon. But the
Correct.
injury allowed me to think. So I ventured into a triathlon, mainly because I knew I would last for 4 hours
Right.
easily. But doing the same monotonous activity which a full marathon would require was, I
It's a
rather
different
not do
level.
that,
Yeah, that's true.
because it's an impact activity. And so I said, let me try my hand at triathlon. And that's really how I moved into doing a triathlon, because it
Okay.
can keep you there for 4 hours, but you're doing three different activities, out of which two are low impact, that is swimming and
Correct.
cycling. So, your injury quotient is much lesser.
Yeah. Yeah, but the training is a lot higher with the
The
three different
training is
sports.
a lot, yes, but you have to adjust, you have to adapt, and you have to adjust. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, constantly adjusting. And what's important is that, even though you faced an injury, you recovered from it, or you adjusted based on that injury, realigned, changed your
Yeah,
goals
yeah,
to
because
fit where you're at. And that's something everyone needs to keep looking at. You can't just blindly decide, I want to do this come what may, and everything else is collateral damage in the meantime.
and even in that 1 year that I took a break, I never ever felt, I never said to myself that I'm going to quit running. Never. I
Yeah,
knew I I wanted to get back as fast as I could. So
yeah.
the thought never crept in that I should stop. Though everyone did tell me that, it's about time you thought, are you doing the right thing?
Like that was a temporary insanity, and now you've decided, like, you've come back to earth.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but it's not. So yeah, keep at it. But yeah, so obviously you've been doing this for a very long time. You have all of the expertise, you have the knowledge, you have the experience with other people as well, because you have your own classes, so you have a lot of your own students also.